along, sing a song with the army of the free. Count the brave, count the true, who have fought to victory. We're the army and proud of our name. We're the army and proudly proclaim. First to fight for the right and to build the nation's might, and the army goes rolling along. Proud of all Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say
Cinco de Mayo here in Washington, D.C., amongst a lot of friends, a lot of old faces, some new faces. My name is Mario Rodriguez. I'm the Eduardo, good seeing you, good buddy. Chairman of Hispanic 100, and I'm on Trump's Hispanic Advisory Council. And we just came from a meeting with the Vice President, and my God, are you all in for a treat today? So before I get started, I'd like to mention a few folks. First of all, Jenny Korn, thank you so much. Jenny worked so hard to make this happen, you have no idea. But Jenny, thank you so much from the bottom of our heart. And Angelisa Castillo, thank you so much. The two of them were a tag team, and their staff, Jonathan Espinoza, just did a tremendous job. So before I get started, I'd like to introduce a few folks. First of all, my Hispanic 100 board, Massey Variel, Massey, Rick Figueroa, Rick, Don Garcia, Jerry Pierce, Jerry, thank you, Grace Flores Hughes, thank you, Grace, and of course, our national spokesperson, Steve Cortez, which you've seen him numerous times on Fox. And of course, I would be remiss if I did not announce my boss and our executive director, Michelle Rose. Thank you. Okay, now let's get started. I know you guys have been waiting. It's getting hot in here. So first of all, I'd like to introduce to you our Excellency from Mexico, the Ambassador Guterres from Mexico. Mr. Ambassador, please.
Good afternoon, muy buenas tardes. Mr. Vice President, Secretary Acosta, queridos connacionales, dear friends representing the Mexican American and Hispanic communities in the United States, amigos de Mexico, it is a great honor to be here today with you. The celebration of Cinco de Mayo commemorates an important milestone toward Mexico's consolidation as an independent country, as well as the friendship that binds Mexico and the United States. This date has become truly binational occasion, reflecting the familial, historical, cultural, and economic ties that exist between our two nations. It also serves as a reminder of our shared commitment to the continued strengthening of our friendship and to the advancement of the well-being of our peoples. Tomorrow, we will mark the 155th anniversary of the Battle of Puebla, where an outnumbered but proud and determined Mexican army defeated the invading forces of what was then the French Empire. This victory was celebrated all over Mexico. Americans and Mexican Americans in the United States joined us in celebrating the shared values of freedom, democracy, justice, and self-determination. Cinco de Mayo has now evolved and surpassed its original significance. The United States has made it a very important date of its own, in which it recognizes the invaluable contributions of Mexicans and Mexican Americans to the culture and to the prosperity of this great country. This is an important thing today, as it has always been. As we celebrate our binational bonds, I am convinced that the mutual benefits of our relationship and a constructive and open vision will always help us find common ground, as well as win-win solutions as we meet shared challenges and even differences between us. We must always view our interaction in a comprehensive manner, as Mexico and the United States have much at stake in the bilateral relationship. Mr. Vice President, ladies and gentlemen, amigos, true friendship, they say, must undergo and withstand the shocks of adversity to be worthy of its name. I believe that Mexico and the United States have together, on multiple occasions, successfully faced hardship and overcome difficulties so that today we might rightly claim to be true friends. May this Cinco de Mayo remind us all, as Presidents Benito Juárez and Abraham Lincoln foresaw, that a strong and successful Mexico is in the interest of the United States, as much as a strong and successful United States is in the interest of Mexico. Thank you very much. Muchas gracias.
All right. Well, we had a great conversation with the Vice President and a few minutes ago, and I think you're going to see some really great things come out of that meeting that we had with him. Hey, Abel. Good seeing you. Anyhow, our next speaker is somebody that we are so proud of. We just spent some time with him, and somebody that is just a remarkable man, an incredibly intelligent person. And like a lot of folks were saying that why don't we have more Hispanics in the cabinet? Well, because this president, what he does, he picks the absolute best he can find for that position. And so when he looked for the Secretary of Labor, he absolutely found the best person he could for that position. And it just happened to be Hispanic. So when saying that, I just want to bring up our Secretary of Labor, Alex Acosta, who you guys are in for a treat because this man is going big places and he's a dear friend. With that, Secretary Acosta.
Mario, thank you for the introduction y buenos días y bienvenidos a la Casa Blanca. Es gran orgullo para mí y para yo creo todo el que está aquí hoy estar en esta casa en este día bajo este presidente. Entonces, bienvenidos. We're here today to celebrate Cinco de Mayo. Cinco de Mayo commemorates the Mexican-Americans' Battle of Puebla's victory over French forces of invasion more than 150 years ago. The battle inspired Mexicans to rally around their nation, and over time, the people of Mexico resisted dominance, and in a subsequent war, they achieved independence. And I highlight that because I understand the resistance to dominance, and I understand that very personally, because my parents fled Cuban dominance, the Castro regime, in search of freedom. And here in America, they found opportunity. They found opportunity through hard work. They found opportunity through sacrifice. They discovered that America offers so much to the Hispanic community and to all individuals in this nation that call themselves Americans, that call themselves seekers of opportunity. And I'm privileged to be here because of those sacrifices. But my story is not unique. Countless Hispanics sacrifice for their children. We want a better life for our children, and we do all that we can to achieve that. And countless Hispanics, I should add, sacrifice for our great nation, the United States. My father joined the Army shortly after he turned 18, and he served his country, the United States. He came here from Cuba, but he served his country, the United States. And last week, my father had an incredible opportunity. He met the Vice President of the United States, and the Vice President thanked him for his service. And I'd like to publicly thank the Vice President for that, because for my father, there was no greater honor than being thanked for his service to this nation by the Vice President of the United States. I want to thank the President's Hispanic Advisory Council. We had an opportunity to meet a while earlier. I want to thank them for their contributions and their willingness to share ideas. We have challenges ahead of us, and we want an open dialogue and ideas. And so thank you, and keep the ideas coming. It is now my distinct honor and privilege to introduce this individual who was so kind to my father, the Vice President of the United States, Mike Pence.
Buenos tardes a todos and feliz casi Cinco de Mayo. Today it's my great honor, on behalf of the First Family, to welcome you to the White House on this eve of Cinco de Mayo. And I bring greetings from the President of the United States of America, President Donald Trump. And we are so proud of this cabinet. And I am so grateful. Secretary Alex Acosta, thank you for that kind introduction. Would you all join me in giving a vigorous round of applause to the new Secretary of Labor for the United States of America? And Jovita Carranza, thank you for being here, and congratulations on your nomination to become the next Treasurer of the United States of America. And Ambassador Guterres, who changed his travel plans to be here with us today. It is a privilege to have you here. Thank you, Mr. We are honored by your presence. Thank you for all that you do to build a stronger relationship between the United States and Mexico. We are truly grateful. And thanks to all the Hispanic leaders from the life of business, from the life of faith, from public life who are here with us today. Especially let me thank Mario Rodriguez and the members of the President's National Hispanic Advisory Council and our sponsor, the Hispanic 100, for putting on this great celebration on the eve of Cinco de Mayo. It really is an honor for me to be with you today. The President personally asked me to join you today as we celebrate this important moment in the life of this nation and in the history of so many Americans. But let me also say it's a particular joy to be here tonight with my much better half, my wife of 31 years, Karen Pence. Would you join me in welcoming her tonight? The President asked me to be here today to help all of you commemorate a day defined by courage and sacrifice in the defense of freedom. 155 years ago tomorrow, in the Battle of Puebla, the Mexican army won a historic victory of freedom against the invading French. Despite being outnumbered 2-1, the bravery and valor of the Mexican people that day has been an inspiration ever since, and their heroism has won the hearts of people not only in Mexico but across America. Cinco de Mayo has become a day to celebrate the extraordinary contributions that Mexican Americans and really all Hispanic Americans have made and continue to make in the United States of America. Today, millions of Americans can trace their heritage back to Mexico. From past generations, we celebrate their many contributions to the life of this nation. From the arts to the armed forces, from the sciences to sports, Mexican Americans have made a lasting impact on our nation and on our history books and filled those history books with names of trailblazers. I think of Ellen Ochoa, the first Hispanic woman who ascended the stars as an astronaut. I think of Richard Cavazos, the first Hispanic four-star general in the United States Army. I think of Octaviano Lorenzo, the first Hispanic to serve in the United States Senate in the 1920s. And of course, I think of my friend, Governor Susana Martinez, the first Hispanic woman to serve as governor, and the governor of New Mexico. I really think today, the President and I both do, of all Hispanic Americans and Mexican Americans who every day for generations have contributed to this nation, who've raised families, who've built communities, started businesses, added their voices and talents to making America great. Economically, culturally, in our churches, our towns, and cities across this country, the truth is that Mexican Americans and Hispanic Americans as a whole make a difference in America every single day. And that really is what we celebrate in Cinco de Mayo. We think of the extraordinary number of Hispanic-owned businesses, which actually grew by more than 50% over the past decade. And nearly half of all the Latino-owned firms are owned by people of Mexican heritage. And Latina-owned small businesses are the fastest growing business sector in the United States of America. And for more than 150 years, Hispanic Americans have served with distinction in every branch of the armed forces of the United States of America. And we honor their service now and always. The regiment in the Civil War, from the Arizona's National Guard Infantry Regiment in World War II, which General Douglas MacArthur called one of the greatest fighting combat teams ever deployed for battle. Hispanics have a long and proud history of putting on the uniform to defend our freedom and our very way of life. Over 250,000 Latinos today are serving in the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines, the Coast Guard, and our reserves at this very moment. Folks, Mexican American and all Hispanic American communities are one of the most vibrant threads in our national fabric. Their success, your success, is America's success. And it's why Donald Trump is fighting every day to empower Hispanic Americans to contribute even more to our country's future. The President has made the Latino community a priority, and we always will. We've been participating already with the Latino Coalition, the U.S. Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, in conferences and listening sessions with business owners, parents, teachers, healthcare workers. The President's made a point, as we've had listening sessions one after another at the White House, to ensure that we're hearing from the Hispanic community in America as well. Since day one, the President's taken decisive action to restore opportunity and prosperity for every American, including Hispanics, to make it possible for every American to climb the ladder of success and live the American dream. In fact, you saw the President's leadership on full display this last week. Thanks to President Donald Trump, what you saw pass in the House of Representatives today is the beginning of the end of Obamacare. Just a few short hours ago, with strong support in the U.S. House of Representatives, we took an important step to repeal and replace Obamacare and replace it, finally, with the kind of health care reform that every American deserves. But it's not just health care. President Trump's agenda also includes taxes and regulation and energy. The President is absolutely determined to ensure that as we go forward in this country, we promote policies that will create jobs and opportunity for every American, including Hispanic Americans. In fact, the President is preparing right now, after we move forward in the Congress with health care reform, this President is going to pass the largest tax cut in American history. All these issues we know are very important to the Latino community as they are to every American. Just yesterday, the President also hosted a group of students from here in Washington, D.C., including many Hispanic children, to celebrate another important step, a step for educational opportunity. The President, in this week's spending bill, a bill he'll sign tomorrow, was able to extend the educational voucher program here in our nation's capital, opening doors of opportunity for disadvantaged children. You know, the DC Opportunity Scholarship Program really is a case study in school choice success. When the President signs this renewal into law in the spending bill this week, it will be a victory for families in Washington, D.C. You know, President Trump is really fighting every day, and will keep fighting every day with Secretary Betsy DeVos at the helm to make sure every child in America has access to a world-class education of their choice. So as I close on this eve of Cinco de Mayo, let me just say that, like all of you, I count among the greatest blessings of my life to simply call myself an American. And we're all descended from those who didn't have that blessing and strive with all of their might to obtain it. We are, as the saying goes, with a few exceptions, a nation of immigrants. And that's as true today as it was at the hour of America's birth. In his joint address to Congress, President Trump promised to, in his words, serve, protect, and defend the citizens of the United States, to strengthen the nation's security, to restore respect for our laws. Our president believes that a system based on the rule of law will benefit every American, including Hispanic Americans, through renewed safety and prosperity. And as President Trump said to Congress, real and positive immigration reform is possible. And on this eve of Cinco de Mayo, I can assure everyone here that as we move forward, we will, as the President said in his words, show great heart every step of the way. This is a deeply personal matter for those of you in this room, and it's also a deeply personal matter for me. You know, it was nearly a century ago that my great-grandmother, as the story goes in our family, handed my grandfather as a young man a one-way ticket from Ireland to America. The legend in our family is that my grandmother walked him up the hill outside that little house in Tubbercurry, Ireland. She looked across to the west of the Ox Mountains and thought of the Atlantic before them. And she said, "You have to go to America," because in his words, there's a future there for you. You know, Richard Michael Cawley, which happens to be where Michael Richard Pence got his name, stepped ashore on Ellis Island as a young man on April 11, 1923. He made his way to Chicago, where he drove a bus for 40 years. He put roots down. He built a good name, a wonderful family. He raised a precocious redhead whose blue eyes and red hair still flame to this day. She married a fast-talking salesman who took her down to southern Indiana, where I showed up. My grandfather's story, my mom's story, and my story is like the stories of so many of you here and the families that celebrate Cinco de Mayo this week. It's really the story of the American dream. My grandfather was an Irishman by birth, but he became an American by choice and was proud of it. And when he went home to be with the Lord in 1980, he left behind a family and a grandson who will forever be grateful for his courage and his willingness to come. It was Inauguration Day, just seems like a few short months ago, that I thought a lot about my grandfather. I was thinking, as I prepared to take that oath of office as the 48th Vice President of the United States, what my grandfather must have thought. And I was sure of just two things. Number one, he knew me well, so I'm sure he was very surprised. And secondly, I just know, looking down from glory, that immigrant grandfather of mine knew that he was right. He was right about America. That is, this is a land of opportunity and freedom, where anybody can be anybody. You know, it's the greatest privilege of my life to serve as vice president to a president who each and every day is working his heart out to renew the American dream and the opportunity to live that dream for everyone in this country. And today, I say with confidence that the future is bright, brighter than ever before, for Hispanic Americans, Americans of every background. And with Donald Trump in the White House, and with your help and God's help, I know the best days for the greatest nation on earth are yet to come. So thank you for coming today, and happy Cinco de Mayo.
Let's get the party started. All righty. All right. The party is started. We'll take a few pictures of some of the folks.
Absolutely.
All righty. Great. Fantastic. All right. Mr. Vice President. Mr. Vice President. Mrs. Vice President, thank you so much. All of you, thank you for coming and spending Cinco de Mayo with us. Now the party has started.
Let me just say hello. Gracias.
All right, folks. So President Donald Trump is set to speak in roughly an hour. So it starts around 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. We'll shut this down and we'll go back up online in just a few minutes. If you want to check it out, the link is in the description below. I'll also put it on the chat. So don't miss President Trump. He's speaking live in New York City. And according to our sources, the Democrats were already protesting that down in New York City, but nothing happened. So President Trump will be speaking in roughly an hour. So I will be putting up the link in the chat. It will also be in the description below. So I hope to see you guys here next time, or later on, sorry. And see you soon. Thank you very much, folks. Peace.
Where the grapes of wrath are stored. brave, count the true, who have fought to victory. We're the army and proud of our name. We're the army and proudly proclaim. First to fight for the right and to build the nation's might, and the army goes rolling along. Proud of all we have done, fighting till the battle's won, and the army goes rolling along. say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars